the pandemic better because we are
especially for those of you who really want to be a millionaire and you're not just talking. If you're just talking, then there's a club for that. They look great. They wear all the t-shirts that say that they're a boss and they're doing nothing. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the person behind you.
Because I really don't know what I would do if I didn't have some work that I had to get to.
Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of WorkHARDAholics. Who am I? I am Shirley Crawford, your host, the original WorkHARDAholic, the executive director of the Women's Business Center, RVA, located at 1510 Willow Lawn Drive in Richmond, Virginia, directly across the street from the Kroger at Willow Lawn. I am also the proprietor of many an organization, several nonprofits in the U.S. and in Haiti, and I'm also one of the proud speakers at the upcoming EmpowHER Conference. Bum, 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 bum. That requires like a musical intro. Okay. For those of you who don't know, I've been doing small business consulting for over 25 years. The gray hairs are legit. They are real. Some of you gave them to me, but that's okay. It was all done in love, I'm sure. So here's the deal. We come together every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to join together to give you all the skills, the resources, everything that you need to be a proper workaholic. And you might be asking, what exactly is that? I'm thinking to myself, it's been a little while since I've sung the theme song. So listen up closely so you'll know exactly what a workaholic is. For those of you who are wondering, what does it mean? It's the movers and the shakers always doing something. If you want to be in balance and get some more green, workaholics. So that means for those of you who are, if you're on my Instagram or my Facebook, where I haven't been much recently, honestly, if you're just seeing things, you're like, oh my God, I know she just worked on this report. I know I just saw her on the news. As a matter of fact, let me give you an example of just yesterday. Yesterday, I did, between yesterday was what? Today is Wednesday. See how hard the days of the week are when you're that busy? Yesterday was Tuesday. Between Monday and Tuesday, I did an interview for the Richmond Free Press regarding the upcoming EmpowHER Conference. Then yesterday, we did a taping with Channel 6 regarding a study that we did in conjunction with J.P. Morgan regarding the gap, especially the bridge in services and resources for Black and Brown business owners in the metropolitan Richmond area. On Monday night, we had a live stream which encompassed many organizations, J.P. Morgan, everything from government officials to entrepreneurs, all about disparities and solutions that we've come up with from a study. You'll be hearing more about that. I have to stop hitting Christina's mic. She might hurt me. And then let's see what else. I did the Channel 6 interview. I did a thing for Richmond Times Dispatch. In addition to like running our regular businesses and having meetings and preparing for the conference. That is the life of a workaholic. But here's the thing. What's the thing that keeps us motivated? What's the thing that keeps us in balance? Well, that's why you're here. We're here to tell you what that is. We're here to work with you to be able to get everything done that you have to, and keep your sanity, live in balance, and get the work done. All right, so welcome aboard. Thank you for joining us on the journey, and let the fun begin. So each week, we always like to start with our word for the week. Why? Not just because I'm a geek. That is not the only reason, although it does come into play. One of the main reasons is that in an age and era where we're having arguments and disagreements, I'm sure you all are watching, I hope, as educated citizens, you all, in addition to watching the Olympics, okay, that's great, are watching the proceedings and the Senate hearings that are happening. And it's so interesting how people are really, the real debate is coming down to semantics. It's coming down to words. It's like, how do we communicate? You're using a word like one of the testimonies, one of the most heartbreaking testimonies from these big burly officers who talks about how he broke down into tears on January 6th, but still kept getting up after being sprayed and maced and had wasp spray sprayed in his face, how he kept getting back up because he couldn't leave his fellow officers without assistance and support. And during that time period, he was talking about the thing that broke my heart more than anything else was he kept referring how people were using the word nigger in his direction. And so we're not even going to go there. And if you're not African American, don't repeat the word. But in general, that was a part of the conversation. But then he was discussing the fact that these people who were attacking him were telling him that he wasn't a patriot. So when we talk about words and what they mean, it's really significant and important that we take a step back and go, what does the word mean? As Americans, we bastardize language all the time. I had this conversation with some individuals in the House of Lords when I was in London. And so they made this statement to me like I was going to be insulted. And they're like, you don't speak English. You're American. I'm like, you're right. It's your language. We bastardize it like everything else. We take it, we create it, we do something with it, we flip it, we rub it down, we do the whole nine. We do whatever we want to with it, and then the rest of the world emulates that. And I'm perfectly okay with that. But that means when we're having a conversation, we have to clarify. What region are you from? Is that a colloquialism? Is that something you and your friends say you think everyone else understands? So we have to come back to the basics of our vocabulary. And so our word for this week is empower. And we're spelling it with an H-E-R. So guys, we love you. You're great. But this is for you, ladies. Empower. All right. And so here's the thing that's interesting about that word. So empower basically means to give someone back their power, to give someone permission to do what it is they need to do to accomplish what must be done. And it's a really interesting thing. In part, I kind of find it insulting because the implication is that someone else has to give you what you need to get done, what you need to get done. On the other side of that, though, if you lost it and someone else has it and they're sharing it with you. So depending on your perspective. But as I said, we're having the EmpowHER Conference because we're going to give you all tools and resources to make sure that you have that inner strength, that inner ability, resources, tools, etc. to get the job done. All right. So if you all didn't know, I run the Women's Business Center, RVA, over here in Richmond, Virginia. And so the focus is women. Men are great. We like you just fine. But here's the deal about society. We live in a patriarchal society. Even the days of the week have male connotations. There are so many words and things that we say, like when we talk in the plural, it's normally in the masculine. Which is part of the reason why they're using the term like Latinx now, because Hispanic words by nature have a gender. O means male, A means feminine, or masculine, feminine. And so that's why they started using the X as a way of empowering the genders and some other things that we're not going to get into. And so when you don't recognize that you are either encouraging or really perpetuating stereotypes and other things, it takes moments like this for us to say, stop. Think for a moment. Like over here at the center, we're always talking about business. And one of the largest populations who are starting businesses today are African American women. And the reason why, it's not so much because they have a larger entrepreneurial spirit. Most of the studies are showing that these women have come to the glass ceiling for what they can do in corporate America. They're undervalued, which means they're not paid enough. They're not appreciated as a resource. And so in order to claim what they rightfully know is theirs, they step out on their own. It shouldn't have to be that way. Now, why? I will say, I love entrepreneurship. Right now, I got a job offer not too long ago. Don't tell them here at the center. But I went through the process because I was just, curious. And it was I remember benefits, people. They were beautiful. And I got through the end of the process and I was like, that sounds really sweet. I can't do it. I can't. I can't. I can't be an employee. I talk about it all. For those of you who are employees, kudos to you. I support your desire not to have to deal with the risk, which is also the potential reward of entrepreneurship. I support it. I support you wherever you are in your process. But for Shirley E. Crawford, employment is still like modern day slavery. It just is. Someone else owns your time. They tell you when you can go to the bathroom, when you can have lunch, if you can have a smoke break, if you can be on vacation, if you can go to your kids when they're sick. They can tell you everything. And if they pay you well enough, which GE once paid me very well, and I was a good slave. I'm going to tell you right now. I went to work on Sundays after church. I mean, I would leave and do the things I had to do, but I went right back to the office with a smile on my face. And I had the GE meatball, that logo, the GE on my forehead because they took good care of me. But I couldn't go back now to save my life. I couldn't do it. But anyway, wherever you are in your process, we still want you to be empowered. We want you to be able to say, I'm going to be a great leader in my community, in my workplace, in my company, in my neighborhood, wherever I am. I'm going to represent me so well that the world will be at my feet wondering how they can glean from the jewels and pearls that I have to offer. And if that's not the case, if you're not standing up, then we want you to be empowered. We want you to receive what you need to be that light, to be that pedestal, to be that monument wherever you are. And that's why our word for this week is empower with an H-E-R, which is EmpowHER. So remember how I was saying that we're American and we have a tendency of making up words? And if you're going to go to Webster's, you will not find the word EmpowHER with an H-E-R. Just an FYI there. I assume you know that, but just in case. It's another way that we Americans are creative in what we have to say and how we go about saying it. And speaking of creativity and the things that we look to accomplish and do, I want to share with you our Book It moment for the week. Okay, so our book this week, what I find the most interesting about this book is that it was written back in 2002. Which seems like, oh my God, a long time ago. Like long, long ago in a land far away, Seth Godin wrote the book, Survival is Not Enough. Why smart companies abandon worry and embrace change. So long before the pandemic, good old Seth Godin, who has produced several books that are very impactful for entrepreneurs. So I highly recommend giving him a read and his litany of books that he has produced. But what I loved about this one, it seems so fitting for right now. It's almost too late for this information. At this point, if you don't have this information, you're learning it right now. So if you're going to go have a refresher course on how you should be embracing what's happening right now in 2020 and 2021, this is a great book to read. Right. And so I love to share little snippets from the books. So what happens with our Book It moments is that, generally speaking, I like to share with you, literature from my library, my biblioteca. Right. And so sometimes I'll share books that you all have written in about. So if you have a book that you think is really impactful, that relates to entrepreneurs or women or life, share. It can even be your book. I will vet it. Just so you know. But if your book is amazing, we might actually have you on and talk to you about it. Or we'll send you over to Christina. She does a whole author speaker deal. But we will consider it. And so this is another book from my library. And so here's the deal. I'm going to share a couple pieces out of it. And the reason, once again, while we do the Book It moment, it goes back to Whenever you hear a millionaire, multimillionaire, billionaire, successful CEO, leader, whenever they're asked the top 10 things that they recommend for an individual to do to be successful, they say, da 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 da. Read a book, without the profanity if you don't know that song. And so they recommend reading because reading is fundamental. And there's amazing information and ways for you to learn without necessarily having to go through all of the pain. Or a way for you to recognize that you are not alone. Like someone else has gone through what you've gone through. And what amazes me is that, especially when people do these comparisons and they're like, oh my God, so-and-so is so rich and so-and-so is so successful and so-and-so. But when you hear them tell their stories, the average millionaire will tell you that they lost multiple millions before learning how to sustain millions. So it's not that they're so brilliant and bright, but they're brave. And so they're willing to do what some of us are not willing to do. Or okay, maybe what some of you all are not willing to do. Because I'm in it to win it. I'm ready. They're willing to take the risk to get the reward. And if you're not, it's okay. We've talked before about the difference in investing $1 and investing $1 into you and your business. Because to become a millionaire on average, it does not happen as an employee. It just doesn't. But you can have a good 401k. Thank you. I've been thinking about nonprofits, so I got my 501 information on my desk right now for another one. Like, yeah, why not? Why not have more than 3 nonprofits? I mean, really, who? Oh, yeah, just me. And so, yeah, just me. But when you think about as an employee, you can have investments, you can do things, you can still make money, but a successful entrepreneur will outweigh a successful CEO. Ha 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 ha. Okay, unless you have a golden parachute. All right, but back to survival is not enough. A couple pieces just sharing really quickly that I thought were like really cool. So they talked about, it goes through a lot of things that right now are really applicable. Because if you think about, like last week we talked about the difference between criticism and critique. And so a lot of times, a lot of you, and especially in this age of social media, a lot of you have some really thin skin. I don't have a nicer way of putting that. A lot of you are really sensitive. And a lot of you are bullies because no one can stand in front of you and punch you in your face for the things that you say. But recognizing that this person, user Z54321, who you've never met, never seen, and isn't even bold enough to talk to you in person, told you that they didn't like your shirt, or they thought you were ugly, or they were whatever, it's amazing how much that impacts us when I'm sitting right across from you and I might make a similar comment, which I generally won't, and it doesn't seem to have the same effect. It's amazing how much we regurgitate that information in our heads. And so we will not do something for fear that someone will say something. Am I the only one who goes like, that's such a sad way to live? Considering your potential of all that you could accomplish, if you really spend all of your time focused on, well, what will they say? Who cares? Okay, anyway, in the book, they mention 3 criticism curses that make companies put the brake on innovation. So see, I was really talking about this for a reason, right? Successful companies fear external criticism. Successful innovators are more subject to harsh criticism, and the less innovative employees of a company unfairly criticize the innovators. I always find it interesting. One of my general philosophies is that the people who whine the most about it, complain the most about it, have the most negative things to say are normally the ones who are either jealous or afraid. It goes back to, I always talk about, for those of you who've never seen a cockroach, good for you. But it always, for me, goes back to the cockroach theory. It's what I call it. I don't know what anyone else calls it. And so when your light is bright, in a dark room, anything can hang out and no one really pays attention, right? It's dark, you're all in there together, you're all adjusting, and you're living in limited visibility, and you're okay with it. When you turn the light on, it blinds the eyes, so it changes the viewpoint of those who weren't prepared for the light to turn on. And then if there are any cockroaches, they scurry. So that means all of those negative people, negative intents, negative everything, those haters, they kind of have to go back and hide in the wall, in the dark, where they can't be seen. Very similar to your internet bullies. Okay, and so another lovely tidbit from Seth over here. I say his name like I know him. I don't know him, and therefore normally I don't use your first name if I don't know you. But for the purposes of this conversation, work with me. Seth says that one of the things when we're talking about survival not being enough, that avoid the dragon, don't slay it. I thought that was like an interesting statement. It's like, because like when you're watching all of your, Indiana Jones movies and whatever else is out there, they're always seeking out the danger. And so part of what Seth says is that's not what we're about. So if you have to fight if you have to fight a battle, fight it. Be all about it. But to intentionally go out, to take up your time, your energy, effort, time, and thought, you know me, my E squared, T squared, to focus on something that has nothing to do with anything, and why? So, just some interesting concepts. And I'll say one more thing about the book, and then we will move along, because you too can get your own copy. It's on Amazon. And once again, no, Christina, I did not get the affiliate link. I get no credit for you all getting this, but I do get the pleasure of knowing that you all have increased your knowledge and wisdom and understanding. One of the great things that I loved about the book is it really talks about how change is not a process. Change should be a lifestyle. So a lot of times, like I think about, like, y'all know I'm a geek. I don't have to like announce that. We all know I'm a geek. All right. Went to high school for it, lived my life for it. Geeks are us, baby. Geeks rule the world. And so on that note, I love a good IT rollout. Am I the only one? Okay, so if you've ever worked for a large corporation, whenever they're implementing new software, then there are two ways that you can implement that information to your, in some of your case, your clients, but in this case, within the organization. So they will either do a drop dead date where it says you can no longer use this software, or they do what's called a staggered or stepped process. Think of it this way. If you all are using, I'm a Mac, but it works for us too. If you're a Mac, you get a new OS operating system and they give you a choice of when you can switch over, but then there's a drop dead date where it doesn't work anymore. Or if you are a PC, what kind of OS system do you have? An operating system? I don't know what you all use on PCs, really. No PC people here, people. Sorry. Oh, well, over there. Whatever it is you use, they're constantly rolling out new software to you, and you get an option of you're going to like drop dead, do it now, or if you get time to adjust to it. And so oftentimes we talk about the change process, and they talk about like this one-time conundrum. Let's all just suck it up and deal with it. Everybody hates change. Well, if you don't change, you die. And so good old Seth says that if you really keep in mind that change is a part of who you are, right? Every day you're changing. And believe you me, since I hit 50 last year, I promise you, I have a full comprehension of those changes. And some are evident and some are not. But as an organization, you need to recognize and know that things are changing. Times are changing. And it shouldn't be a scary thing. It should be like, how can I maximize this change? For those of you who've been watching the show, especially through the pandemic, you've heard me say repeatedly that technically speaking, the pandemic was really good for business. Like, I know that feels insulting, but it's true. So many of you were forced to pivot. It was pivot or die. So many of you all were forced to pivot and to convert what would have been these drag-on one-on-one meetings. I hate meetings, in case you couldn't tell. These long, unfortunate one-on-one meetings where all you could make was the money of that one interaction with that one person, where now a lot of businesses that pushed back on it before are now online. And what that means is that one-on-one you can now convert to group. You can now convert that your next client can be in Brazil, which is where I want one of my. If you're in Brazil and you're looking for a small business consultant, I don't know. I don't speak Portuguese, sorry. and my Spanish is now questionable. But considering that, as arrogant as it may sound, English is still the money of commerce for now. So if you're in Brazil looking for a consultant and you speak a little English, I got you. But that's what you can do now. Now you can do that. So like I went on vacation / business trip to Puerto Rico. And I went with the intention of finding out about setting up shop there, how to connect there. There's a women's business center there on the west side of the island. All right. And so I went to, you can do that now, people. That was the benefit of being able to pivot and change. And so if you consider change as a part of your everyday, as opposed to thinking of it as the monster in the back of the room, it makes all the difference when it comes to your business. Just another FYI for you, all of you out there listening. Yay. Okay, so right now we're going to hear a word from the people who make this show possible. Yay. Be sure to support. Dun, 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 dun.
Let Socialita help your business stand out from the crowd by building your brand success through social media management. We're located at 1510 Willow Drive, Suite 100. Our website is www.socialitarva.com. You can also give us a call at 804-484-2001. Again, Socialita.
Imagine Media Lab, in partnership with the Women's Business Center, offers hourly rental to a multimedia studio. Create or edit digital assets for marketing. Record that podcast you've always wanted to start. Voiceovers and live stream. All equipment and software is included in your hourly rental. Located at the Women's Business Center, 1510 Willow Lawn Drive, Suite 100. ImagineMediaLabs.com. Book your session today.
Action. Okay. I don't know about you all, but I think I live on YouTube right now. And so I have been watching, I said I wasn't going to talk about it because I literally am a little bit obsessed with these dancers called Les Twins. Anyone else know who they are? Les Twins? Oh my God, I love them so much. Larry and Laurent. And I really don't understand why his name is Larry. I feel like Larry, it must be, right? Because, I mean, it's French. It can't just be Larry. Larry and Laurent. Anyway, they do these Instagram lives, and they're just a goofy set of lovely young twin men, and they always come back with action. Okay, you can go watch it yourself, and you won't think that I'm such an anomaly for doing that right now. Okay, then. All right, so here's the deal. Thus far, we've mentioned that our word for this week is empower. Share with you about our lovely book for the week, our book at moment, which is Survival is Not Enough by Seth Godin. But speaking of empower, I really am excited. So here's the thing. For those of you who know me, which I guess most of you don't, I do not believe in wasting time, especially not mine. Right? So I am frequently known to be in a meeting like, you all know the value of my hour and you're wasting it. And I have no problem leaving a meeting. I'm a polite person. I promise I am. But like, I have rules and regulations about how I work my life. As a WorkHARDAholic, we got work to do. Right? So on that note, if I am engaged in something, if I'm participating, it's because I am passionate about it. Like the purpose aligns with my goals for my life or the things that I want to contribute to my community. Like I don't do things just to do them. I'm naturally an introvert, so I don't do it for applause because I won't even listen to it. I won't even believe it anyway. And I just don't need people approval per se. So when I tell you I'm excited and I have been dedicating my time, my energy, effort, time, and thought to this upcoming conference, there's a reason. Right. So that's just my preface to say I don't talk about it just to talk about it. I'm about it because I'm about it. And so for those of you who may not know, and if you don't know, where have you been? Or better yet, our marketing is not, if you didn't know about it, then our marketing is poor and we should fix it. Thank you. That's correct. It's not you, it's me, right? But at this point, I know that you know because we're telling you. So coming up August 5th through the 7th, is that really next week? Is that really next week? Oh my God. That's why I can't get any sleep. Okay, it's okay. But I did go to the gym. Anyway, August 5th through the 7th. Richmond, you cannot say that you've never had an opportunity like this because we are bringing it to you. And I had someone call me from, where were they calling from? Either DC or South Carolina. And they were asking me about the conference because there's an option to stream. And when I told them how much the tickets were, and they were like, I could come to Richmond and do that. I'm like, you could stream it too. But apparently it's considered like really inexpensive. Anyway, so the value is there and we're trying, like the same way we work at the center, we try to make value accessible. So no excuses here. So it's the EmpowHER Conference. I feel like it's Soul Train. All right, August 5th through the 7th. There are limited seating, limited in-person seats here in Richmond, Virginia, and then there's a live streaming option. So you can be a VIP, which means that you get to come to the meet and greet. It's real bougie. There's a harpist and like the whole nine. It really is. So that's the Thursday night at the Cultural Arts Center at Glen Allen. And so you'll get to hear a few words from like some important people. And then you get to do a meet and greet. There'll be networking, orders. There is a new signature drink. I don't drink. I mean, I drink water. Right now I'm on Mountain Dew, which I shouldn't be. But overall, I'm a water girl. But there will be a signature drink that is being created just for this event by the Tipsy Sommelier. And so if you're online, I think they're going live Friday to I think it's Friday. I believe it's Friday. Just keep your eyes on the Our Empowerment social media. You'll be able to see it. But they're going to go live and show you what has been determined as the mixed drink. So behind the scenes, they've been testing it out. I haven't seen anybody too tipsy, so they must be doing a decent job of imbibing. And so they'll be showing that, and that will be offered at the Thursday night VIP. That's very important, people, in case you were wondering. Reception at the Culture Arts Center at Glen Allen. I never get that name right. I'm Richmond, and we always like muddle that somehow. So that'll be there, and that's going to be a lot of fun. And for those of you who like to get cute, and if you ever want to see me try to look cute, you might want to come to that. Because generally speaking, casual is my lifestyle. So that'll be the Thursday night reception. You'll get a chance to meet Christiana and some other individuals. And I think Daphne's coming. And there'll be several people of worth for you to come meet. And I don't even mean me. So that'll be amazing. And then Friday, August 6th. Which will also be my niece's birthday. Happy birthday, although I'll be at the conference. Okay, so that'll be at the Bird Theater. And we are having some amazing speakers, resources, and information. So the theme of the conference is to live 360. So here's the deal. As a woman, we often pigeonhole ourselves or allow ourselves to be pigeonholed. Like, you're just the mom. You're just so-and-so's mother. You're just so-and-so's employee, or you're just this. Wherever there's a just anything, then that is saying that you're just in this little box. And we don't live in a box. We live 360. And so the purpose of the conference is we're going to talk about healthy minds, healthy bodies, healthy wallets, people. It's all encompassing. And so the speakers are going to help you do just that. So there's quality of life. There's a healthy cooking seminar. There are sessions about you and your money and your relationship to it. Goal setting. There's all kinds of things that are happening. And so that'll be 9 to 5 at the Bird Theater. And so that's what's happening there. And then I should go back. See, I get excited about like what I get excited about. One of our featured speakers, we talked about Coco Hayashi. We've mentioned her a few times. She's one of our presenters, and she's a celebrity face yoga person. Apparently she does work with like the Kardashians and other people. And if you're like I am, and I don't even watch the Kardashian show, that it sounds impressive, but it doesn't like, yeah, I'm more business oriented. That's me. We have something for everyone. That's the whole point. So if you're like I am, and you're always trying to figure out ways to make money and see how other people make money and then take it to the next level and like make real money, then you'll be very excited about our other featured presenter, who is Christiana Hurt. Right? And so you look at her, you think, just another pretty face. She really is rather pretty. And she seems very sweet. Don't really know her. We've had a few conversations. But here is the real deal. Christiana Hurt, while she was at, I think, the University of Central Florida, while she was in school, was trying to determine ways to make money and was having all kinds of issues and things that was going on. She got herself to the grindstone and started running a business that made her a millionaire while she was still in school. Does anyone, for someone who had to work and go to school at the same time, I'm trying to tell you, I was doing good to be able to wait tables, let alone to develop an entire industry. So she does all this work, or has done all this work, with drop shipping and eBay and Udemy, which is a platform for teaching classes and online coursework, and Shopify. And she now has all these seminars and teaching other people how to earn six figures. She does a lot with college students, but if you're like I am and we're not in school anymore and don't really want to go back right now, she works with us too. And so I find it amazing that she's a I'm sorry. I did mention that I'm 51 for all who didn't care to know that already. I did mention I turned 50 last year. It was a big deal. I celebrated. So for me, she's still a baby, but that baby is living a life. I mean, and such accomplishments. And so she has an organization called the Wealthy College Student. And so she's done amazing work. And here's the thing. For those of you who are like normal richenders and need a real validation, she has been on like so many magazine covers, interviewed by so many, and she was a finalist for Forbes 30 Under 30, and she is on Bloomberg. So if you're business related, you know what Bloomberg is. She is on Bloomberg's list of top 10 most influential people. Hello, Richmond. Do you hear me? She is on Bloomberg's list of top 10 most influential people. And where will she be next week? She'll be right here in Richmond, Virginia. See what we do for you? Do you see what we bring to you? Because we want you to be empowered, ladies. Now, gentlemen, once again, we like you. You can attend. Just know that it's just not about you. But you are welcome to be there as well. All right. And then Friday night. I want to sing, but I'm not going to do it. We have stuff to talk about. Friday night at 6 p.m., still at the Bird Theater. We are having the Femme Filmmakers Festival. And so, I've mentioned that a couple weeks ago, but I'm mentioning it again. Tamika Lamison and Mel Jones, who are native Virginians, who they live in Hollywood now, but, they are going to grace us with their presence and their films. So they'll both be presenting one of their pieces of work, and in between they will talk to you about what it's like to be a female in Hollywood, what's it like to get a film produced. They're both award-winning. As a matter of fact, I think Tamika just had a piece that was in the Tribeca Film Festival. They've both done Sundance. Mel has several works that are on Netflix right now that you can go watch and see. She has one movie that she's in conjunction with that I love so much. It's called Dear White People. And if you have not seen it, you should. And so, love that movie. And so, Tamika has an organization called Make a Film Foundation. So it's very much like Make-A-Wish Foundation. So she helps individuals who are either terminally ill or who have severe conditions have a lasting legacy by creating their vision for a film. And she's not making these little, like the home videos that we might do. Like the last one that I saw for her had, oh my God, I can see him. Johnny Depp was in the last one that she had someone working on. And then Mel has a bunch of work that's out there. And she is a part of a group called We Are Invisible. And the whole point of the organization is to increase diversity in Hollywood. So two strong, amazing women and not that old. And so so excited to show their work. And if you've been thinking about the fact that you're a producer, director, filmmaker, and you want to know what it really looks like, what it looks like to really get a deal, like what's happening in the background, then these ladies will be here. And then, because we don't just do average, like that's already, like that by itself is already amazing. No. We just have to add like the cherries on top of everything else. So, does anyone know who's facilitating the Filmmakers Festival? Shirley, who's facilitating? Well, let me tell you, Shirley, none other than the one, the only Daphne Maxwell Reed. I feel like that's a mic drop. Like if I had a mic, I would drop it right now. But I can't drop these mics because Christina will kill me. But you get the point. So the conference is going to be stellar, and tickets, I always forget. I think there is, I know somewhere, like I'm hoping Christina's going to show me what the prices are. It's on the other slide. She's my technical person over there, and I don't have my screen up. But VIP tickets, there's a $300 package for a VIP plus. A standard VIP is $120. General admission, I think it's $35. I hate to be wrong. I think it's $35. And to stream is, I think, $20. It's either $20 or I think it's $20 now. I think it was $15 for early bird, but now it's $20. Either way, like my last conference that I went to, and it was virtual, was $125. I'm just saying. It was a pretty good conference too, but still, I paid $125 and didn't see anybody in person. And on that Saturday, there'll be networking opportunities. There'll be vendors. There are still some vendor tables. So if anyone is looking and would like to be a vendor, connect with Ty, Ty at WBCRVA.com. Because I know she mentioned that they still had some spaces for vendors. And so we want to sell all the way out. We're on our way, but there's still room for more. And if you are a really good citizen, feel free to gift tickets. Like I intend to, I don't know if I don't need to say this out loud, but I started, so I'll finish. I intend to gift some tickets to some local organizations. And when I say I gift, that means I'm paying for, because I think it's really important that we receive the tools to really get done what we talk about. Like we talk about stuff all the time, but what are we doing? I'm tired of conversation. What's your action plan? What are you looking to do to be able to accomplish that which you want to get done? I'm just asking. Okay, on that note, I told you all about the conference. I've told you all about these stellar people who are going to be there. Like, we don't play games, people. So be sure and get your ticket, share it with a friend, do all those great things, and we want to see you there. Okay, so I only have a few minutes. So talking about empowering, I kind of did want to go over like 9 ways that you can take control of your own life. Because that's what empowering is. Like, it's great that other people out there are telling you, like, I admit, it's nice when other people validate you. So when the news stations reach out to me and say, Shirley, we have this issue affecting entrepreneurs, and so we want to ask you about it. It's nice that they consider me a subject matter expert, which I am. And it is very empowering, but that's short term. When you don't take control of your life yourself, you are always subject to other people's whims, other people's like trends. Like today you're in, tomorrow you're out, as Heidi Klum always likes to say. That's what happens when you allow other people to empower you. But when you really internalize it and you got the power and you're utilizing it, that's when it really matters. So once again, we only have a few more minutes. I know. An hour goes pretty quickly. Or at least it does for me. If you're listening, I hope it went quickly for you too. And that's why you'll come back next Wednesday at 1, or catch some older episodes if you have missed them. All right. So here's the thing. 9 ways to really take control of your life. I'm not going to read them all. You can go see it. It's over there on the PowerPoint. I'm sure you're seeing it on the screen. But the thing that I thought was the most interesting is that you have to take control. we let other people, and it's kind of like when I talk about being an employee. I'm really not slamming you all. I really do respect it, especially if you're amazing at what you do. I'm not slamming you all. I'm not. I'm not geared for to be an employee anymore. But I support you. I do. Happy to help you in whatever way I can. Although I do say everyone should have a side hustle. I repeat, everyone should have a stream of income and a way to make money for at least 6 months has always been my theory, and the pandemic has proved that out. So if that means you are Uber Eats or DoorDash or Shipt or Avon or paparazzi or cruises or real estate or Turo or whatever you're doing, do something now. Come listen to Christina and learn about drop shipping. I don't care. Christiana, sorry. Whatever it is, make money for yourself. All right. So the first thing is taking control. So it's interesting to me how many of us have allowed others to have control of our lives and actions. And so I wish, this is when I love to teach, because if you were all sitting here, I'd ask you all, like, what's the first thing you do when you get into the office? And most people, if it's not gossiping or grabbing coffee, the first thing they do is check email. Do you know by default that means that you're allowing someone else to dictate how your day is going to go? I mean, you ever think about it? So I come into my office. First of all, I like to sneak into my office. And which is why I love where my office is located. So I can slide into my office and close the door, which means do not disturb, so that I can set the tone for my day without external influence. I do not check my email first thing. I check my email during the allotted time that I have to check my email. Because otherwise, if you're going by my phone rang or I got this email, you're saying that although I have a list of things that I want to get done, someone called me, and so I'm going to respond to that, which is an interesting thing about our society. So as I said this morning, although I'm so busy that it's ridiculous right now, I don't even have a word for it. Like I've been saying recently, like I go to bed tired and wake up tired, which is not normal, but there is just that many amazing, wonderful, worthwhile things happening, and they just happen to all be happening at the same time. I can't do anything about the timeline. So I'm working my way through because this is the moment and I can't sleep through it. So if I have to, I'll sleep when I'm dead, but I got work to do right now, and it's happening right now. And so 5 months from now, when I'm able to go spend a few months in Puerto Rico, which is what I think I will do. FYI, Women's Business Center, I do believe I'll be doing that. It'll be because I took care of this moment now. So with that in mind, it all comes back to that taking control aspect. So this morning I went to the gym. Hello, YMCA. I'm a recent member. I've been there for a few months, and I've been very dedicated. I go at least 5 times a week. And so I went to the gym this morning, and so I feel like I smell like chlorine. No matter how I scrub. Oh, no, actually. Nope. I smell like Bed Body Works. So. But oftentimes I feel like I can still smell chlorine because I'm always in the water there taking like an aqua class, Zumba, aqua hit, aqua cardio power, whatever. And so, of course, that means when we get out, we take a shower. I don't know that has to be like a brain surgeon thought, but we do this especially because we have dye in our hair and we can't have chlorine in there too. And so while taking my shower this morning, the person in the shower stall next to me, is this too much information for you all? Skip the imagery. Just keep it going. Skip the imagery. Stay with the story. The person in the shower next to me takes a phone call. And my mom is just like, it's not like you're showering for it's not a bath, where you're going to sit down and relax and mellow. It's a shower. It's a few minutes of your time. Like, really? And you had to take a phone call? Like, one, why is it even in the... it was a whole thing for me. And she answered the phone to say, I'm in the shower. I'll call you later. Isn't that what voicemail is for? Like, what are we talking about? Like, what are we doing? Why do we feel like people are so important that we have to respond to them? Like, in the bathroom. The bathroom is off limits. One, FYI, it sounds gross, but it is. As you flush to the toilet and things come into the air, they can actually get onto the surface of your phone. Ew. So that's why my cell phone doesn't go into the bathroom with me. It does not journey in there. It shouldn't be in there. It's not sanitary, people. And then you put it to your mouth. Like, that's just like kissing the toilet. I mean, that's just gross. So, okay, that was a sidebar. So there is that. But the bottom line is, I just couldn't understand why it was that she had to like answer the phone. But that's where we are in society. We believe that everyone else and what they need is more important than us even having a moment to ourselves. I used to have this statement, which is why people say I'm interesting. I tell people all the time, it's best to text me rather than call me, because I may or may not answer the phone even if I am available. And people take offense to that. And my general statement is, I pay my cell phone bill, not you. So therefore, I am in control of how I manage and monitor my cell phone. My cell phone is a tool and a resource. It is not my leash to you or to society. But that's how most people use it. And it's the same for your emails. Like, we're doing our happy job, and then someone comes in and says, oh my God, I have blah, 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 blah. And we stop everything and we respond to their emergency. I'm just saying, if you're going to take control of your life, if you want to live a life that's fulfilling and you want to take responsibility for your life, the first thing is stop blaming everybody else for decisions that you make. Take control of your life. Take control of your decisions, your thoughts. Like, no one can make you think anything. Can't do it. They can paint a picture. They can try to coerce you. They can try to force you. They can try to break your will, your power, your mind. But they can't do anything that you don't let them do, including remove your self-respect. So feel free to look at the rest of the list. I can't see all of them from over here anyway. But that's going to be a really great place to start. Take control of your mind, your thoughts, your body, which is why I have all of this in the gym, because we have many pandemic pounds. Did I mention a plethora of pandemic pounds? It's almost alliteration, just not quite. So take control. Stop blaming others. And I feel like it all ties in. A lot of times we're like, well, so for example, before the pandemic, I had a habit. There was a habit. I was habitually late to church on Sundays. Like, habitually. And so, and my late is not like everyone else is late, because I generally have to be there early, because maybe I am working with the dancers, or maybe I'm moderating for the day, or maybe, God forbid, I'm actually speaking. So I tend to have to be there earlier than most people, or maybe I'm helping with the sound. And I had a large tendency of being late. And if you had asked me why, I would want to say it's my mother's fault. Right? So the way this works, I am my mother's transportation. Love her. She got me here. The least I can do is get her where she needs to go to. And so here's the deal. When it comes to leaving out the door, she has a Pavlovian response of having to go to the restroom before she can leave out the door. It's no shocker. It's no surprise. She's been this way my whole life. I'm perfectly aware. And it's one of the reasons why when we're about to leave, I never say to the kid to go to the bathroom, because I'm like, I think that's how she got stuck with that. So if we're about to go out the door, she gets to the door and she has to go to the bathroom. I know it. I have a tendency, because I'm just very much into this minute. I don't start to leave until I have to, like, if I know it takes me 15 minutes to get there, I'm leaving. I'm ready to go out the door at 15 minutes to get there. And so the two do not go together. So I know that's me, and I know that's her, and I know that if I'm the driver, then I have to say, it takes me 15 minutes to get there. I need to give her 5 minutes on top of that. So I could be on time if I would alter that and set to leave 20 minutes before I need to be there instead of the 15. But what do? In my passive aggressive nature, I still say 15 minutes till, let's go. And so I can't blame her. You can try to blame someone else, but the bottom line is I have control over the situation. I know what needs to be done to make it work. I just chose not to. So I'm not blaming her. It's my fault. And now that the pandemic has lifted and we're back in again, I'm on it. I'm on the right schedule. We have been early. Thank you very much, instead of late. So, but that's what happens, because we're constantly blaming someone else. When you blame someone else, one, you're acting like the victim. It's always like someone else has power over you, someone else is doing to you, someone else has the ability to change your situation. But a lot of the times you have the power. So if you stop blaming them, and they could be doing all kinds of things that are ratchet and wretched and causing you problems, and we're not saying that's not true. What we're saying is they don't matter. It doesn't matter. There's a way for you to get what you want. Are you willing to do the work to get it? And that, my friends, is the bottom line on why one person succeeds and another person talks. Somebody has great stories, but no substance. All right, so we really are wrapping up. I want to emphasize again, so if you were with us from the beginning, you know that our word for this week is empower. Be empowered, ladies. Men, you can be empowered regular. No her necessary. Our book it moment for this week was Survival is Not Enough by Seth Godin. We had an opportunity to talk about the EmpowHER Conference happening August 5th through the 7th right here in good old Richmond, VA, or RVA if you're really from here. Wanted to highlight again, really excited about our special guest, Christiana Hurt. And so for those of you who are looking for a side hustle and a way to bring in income, especially as you recognize and realize that society isn't always looking out for you, then here's a way for you to do so. Come learn, come glean, come learn how to be healthy, how to live healthy, wealthy, and wise, as they used to say. You can gather all that information and more August 5th to the 7th at the EmpowHER Conference. If you're looking for tickets, I always forget to share this information. And people are always like, how do I get tickets? Like, oops, sorry. You can go to our EmpowHERment, OurEmpowHERment.com. And special thanks to our sponsors. Two of our sponsors are the Henrico Economic Development Agency. Thank you all very much for your support, as the Women's Business Center is located in Henrico County, and Fulton Bank. And what I would say about Fulton, we've had like Linda Melton on, and the center has done some presentations like about PPP and other things, and how to develop your relationship with your banker, and other presentations with Fulton Bank. They are an amazing community bank. So if you have questions about setting up your business account, your personal account as well, but of course from right here we talk business, then they are an amazing resource, and you'll see them around at the conference as well. So make sure you go to their table, see whoever's representing. They are informative and really helpful. Like, I have had conversations with them where I learned something. Not to say that I know it all, but I really do know a lot. So I was very impressed with like some of the information that I have gleaned in my multiple conversations with representatives from Fulton Bank. And Henrico County is ranked very highly with regards to a place to do business. We love your city of Richmond, but we're in Henrico County. Okay, so as we prepare to go, we want to get some shout outs to say, one, if you didn't know, we are in the Imagine Media Lab, bringing your ideas to life. That's not really her theme or her motto, but I always say it because I think it's true, right? Imagination lives here. But it's an amazing facility if you're looking to do a podcast. If you've seen our commercials, guess who did them? The Imagine Media Lab. Where do we do our podcast? The Imagine Media Lab. Who did my speaker reel? The Imagine Media Lab. Who did my short page? Do you get it? You got it? You don't have to imagine if you just get over here and get it done. Yay. And they're located inside of the Women's Business Center. So when we open up our next location, there'll be another Imagine Media Lab. All right. In addition to that, of course, a special shout out to the Women's Business Center, RVA, 1510 Willow Lawn Drive, helping women entrepreneurs to start, sustain, and succeed in business. I haven't said it in a while, but we do a free consultation for anyone, man, woman, or child. You can call the office, 804-921-3844, and they'll send you information about how to schedule one, people. Let's be realistic. One free consultation awaits you to help you figure out how to take your business to the next level, or even possibly how to start your business. So, of course, especially right now with real estate being a little cuckoo, there's a lot happening with real estate these days. So if you're out there and you're like, I want to flip, or I want to be a property manager, or I have a property and I need a property manager, or I want to buy something, I want to personally highly recommend Taiwan Lee of Legacy Managed by Tai. She's also here at the center, but if you talk to any of the people who have worked with her, the testimonials are that not only does she know what she's doing, but she cares. And that's a combination you can't beat. Alrighty, people, we're about to say goodbye. As Carol Burnett would say, I'm so glad we had this time together. But we're out of here because we've got work to do. So as we always say, live better, do better, please be better, and happy entrepreneuring. Ta-ta! See you at the conference!